what it's all about, is helping out No Kid Hungry. Our good friend, Amanda Hite. Amanda, come on up.
So it appears the shortest mic will be the one for me tonight. I'm going to talk a little bit about impact. But before I do that, I want to tell you a little bit about why this cause is so important to me, and why it's so stuck in my heart. When I was just a kid, my mom had me actually when she was a teenager. And as you might imagine, we had a bit of a tough start. And so my father joined the U.S. Army in hopes to provide a better life for my soon-to-be family of 5. And so if you do the math for a minute of a private in the Army's income, minus the cost of living for a family of 5, it doesn't quite work out. And so my dad reluctantly put us on what back then was called food stamps, and now known as Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Mom enrolled myself, my sister Amber, and my ridiculously handsome brother Jeremy in our school's assisted meal programs. There are a lot of things about this time in our lives that I remember vividly. I remember getting up super early to go to my school to get breakfast in the morning, which is still my favorite meal of the day. I remember waiting, everybody went through the lunch line to wait to get in at last because I didn't want anyone to see my little blue meal card, which meant that I was one of the poor kids. I remember dealing with all of the adversity that came with many schools we went to. I had 32 homes by the age of 18. But I want to tell you something that I don't remember. I never remember going hungry. And I never remember having to worry about where my next meal came from. I never had to worry about adult problems. And the reason is that programs like the ones that Share Our Strength advocate for, they work. Because of them, I was able to focus on learning and growing. Because of that investment in my family, we were able to go through life, deal with the adversity that came with change, and I was able to grow up and be awesome. And so I want to tell you a little bit about what that investment got to. My father would go on to move up through the ranks and on to serve in the Desert Storm War, serve and protect our country. As you know, I would grow up to meet the awesome Brandon Hill. We would give birth to Team BTC, become job creators, and maniacally commit our lives and businesses to the service of others and giving back. My mom, my brother, my sister, they all passionately give of their time and their talents to their communities, and we're even passing along those values down to my little 14-year-old niece, who's a feisty little advocate, who's already being the change that she wishes to see in the world. And so these investments are a really important part of this great country that we live in. And so everyone here tonight is going to make a decision, because we're going to make some impact. But you're going to choose how big or small your role in that impact might be. And so whether you decide to support us tonight by sharing a 140-character tweet, whether you decide to give and make a donation, hopefully there's a few big donations in that, or whether you decide to wake up tomorrow, some of you pop a few aspirin, and decide to make a deeper commitment and join the leaders in the restaurant industry who have said enough. Like, we're in the business of feeding people for a living, and we refuse to have children going hungry in the same neighborhoods that we feed. And so my hope is that many of you tonight will decide to join these leaders in the industry who have decided that the restaurant industry can and should be the industry that ends childhood hunger in America. So, I'm going to tell you a little something that I learned about impact. Number one, impact starts with a big, bold belief. A belief like we, the restaurant industry, can eradicate childhood hunger in America. But belief isn't enough. You have to be convicted enough to make a commitment to doing whatever it takes. And as we like to say, you have to be disciplined enough to JFDI, which is just focus, and do it, or as some BTCers say, just freaking do it, or something like that. You have to be maniacal about measuring progress, because if you don't know where you stand in the road of ending childhood hunger in America, you don't know how you're going to get there, and if you don't know where you are in real time, you can't do that. So tonight, as we go to raise $25,000 for No Kid Hungry, which is about about $250,000 meals for the cause, we will know where we are the whole time in real time. I'm going to tell you one of the most important things about impact, and if you don't remember anything tonight about my cute story when I was a little kid, I want you to remember this. Anytime that you set out to make an impact, you never, ever, ever have to do it alone. There are always people, there is always a community like this, a passionate community that shares your big, bold belief and that wants to help. I'm going to repeat that one more time. When you set out to make impact, you never have to do it alone. There will always be a tribe like this one ready to pull together all their resources, ready to rally all of our superpowers and apply them to whatever that meaningful change is that we're going to make. And so speaking of some change agents that are making impact, I'd like to recognize a few people tonight. The No Kid Hungry team, if you guys... They are my heroes. As somebody mentioned earlier tonight, Tom, the president of No Kid Hungry, is here tonight. We're really, really fortunate to have him. The rest of this gang, they work tirelessly every single day to make sure in this nation we are coming up with innovative solutions to feed our kids. They're doing things so kids today don't have to have the stigma that I had when I was a kid with my blue meal card, like coming up with solutions like breakfast in the classroom. They're rallying leaders like you in the restaurant industry to come together for things like the Dine Out and programs like that. But every single day, there's not a day that goes by that don't have the children in our communities on their mind. And so they're doing some of the most meaningful work of any of the folks in the room. And so I just want you to clap it up for them. And when you see them, please give them a tight hug. Really, really awesome group of people. It's the Social Council for No Kid Hungry at Tyson Foods. If you guys can come up the stage. You guys are so awesome. Let me tell you a little bit about this gang. One of our social strategies with No Kid Hungry is to leverage some of the most passionate advocates for the brand, because no one can grow love for something like those that love it the most. And so we've put together this Social Council for No Kid Hungry. They are the voices for the 16 million children in this nation that struggle with hunger. They're voiceless. They're the online voices, and they run activation. Last time the Social Council and Tyson Foods hooked up together to do an activation. Let me just tell you what they accomplished. In one single day, on Giving Tuesday, this gang behind me reached over 35 million people in one single day on Twitter. Clap that up. And with impact like that, there's always something that comes out of that. And a result of that was raising over 500,000 meals for kids struggling with hunger over the holiday season. So give these guys a lot of love. When you see them walking through the audience, I ask you to ask them for their autographs, because they're truly, truly superheroes. And I will give you all hugs and kisses later, because I think I only have like 15 minutes. But I love you guys so much. Thank you so much. We love you guys. The goal tonight is to raise $25,000 for No Kid Hungry. We can do it with the folks in this room. Before we get started, I want you to vision a little impact with me. Fast forward to June of 2015.
Are you working?
And as you're packing to leave summer brand camp, you notice the news ticker on the bottom of your screen. It reads, "Breaking news in the movement to end childhood hunger in America. 3 more states have achieved food access equality for their children." The imagery is powerful. There are people in the streets cheering, and you see kids across the nation holding up signs that say, "We are Generation No Kid Hungry." You see red states, blue states, united by the color orange. Your social streams are filled with people celebrating. You hear the chime of your email. It's from the No Kid Hungry campaign. And you can't help but get a sense of pride when you read it. It says, "Thanks to you, Team No Kid Hungry, 3 more states have changed the way they'll feed their children." Without the dedication of your time, without your endless generosity, this would have never been happening. And as you arrive to the airport, you take a quick stop by a newsstand to pick up your usual diet of flight reading, and you see the cover of Fast Company magazine. There's two 18-year-olds on that cover. They're in an article that's titled "The Top Most Influential Startup Leaders of 2015." The article talks about how these leaders were inspired by No Kid Hungry's Innovate to End Childhood Hunger in America project. And they built a technology that will forever change the way our nation feeds our kids. That technology was funded by the restaurant industry, whose leaders began rallying earlier in 2014, determining that they would be the leaders that took this cause and decided to end childhood hunger in America. So as you take your seat for a long flight home, you can think about all this movement has accomplished in the past year. Despite all that's left to do, you can't help but get this overwhelming feeling that the end of childhood hunger in America is truly inevitable. So tonight, give, tomorrow, commit, and always JFDI. I love you guys. Let's go make some impact.
Okay, I think I have.